3 secret funnels that has made me multiple millions of dollars. I want to break it down for you step by step over the shoulder. This is a private presentation that I did for a group of clients recently, and today I want to just share this on my YouTube. If you grab a pen and paper, you want to take notes on this and enjoy this video.
With that being said, guys, I'm super pumped. I'm just going to go on a rampage, share with you guys 3 funnels that's been responsible for literally generating tens of millions of dollars. Again, these are my results. I just want to put a disclaimer out there. None of this stuff is a guaranteed way to get rich. It's not a get rich quick program, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's results are going to vary for legal reasons. You understand that, you guys. Bottom line is this: you take action and you will get results. Okay. You take action. What happens is energy flows. Energy flows. That's what you want. And life and results in life is all about energy. One of the main reasons why most people fail and why I'm so passionate about sharing this stuff is because when I'm coaching students, here's what tends to happen sometimes. Okay. They are like this and they are doing 10 things. And I want you guys to do this diagram because I promise you it's going to change your life. Every single day when I wake up, I have a couple of things on my phone. One of them is this diagram over here. Hopefully you can see. And this diagram to me represents a lot of stuff. When you see this diagram, okay, this diagram says that in life, okay, if everything is from energy and the amount of money that you make right now is a direct reflection of energy, so then your energy needs to be focused. So there's 10 things that you can do each and every single day. And if you drew a little arrow like this, okay, you can do 10 things each and every single day, or you can just do one thing. Now, where do you think you're going to get more power? Doing one thing or doing 10 things? And every day I remind myself of this. And every single day I remind myself, Shaq, to get results, I want to be, focused on here. Okay, I want to be focused on doing one thing and doing one thing great. So when you start off, there's so many different projects and systems. There's Messenger, Facebook organic, Facebook marketing, Clubhouse, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, press releases, podcasting, blogging, YouTubing, making videos, branding, all of this stuff you can do. Almost none of those things matter. Okay, they can matter later on. What we first need to do is focus on the core offer. That needs to be our first focus. Then what we need to do is we need to focus on the offer that needs to be connected to a funnel. And then we have scale. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about offers. We'll talk a little bit about funnels, and then we're going to talk about scale. Okay. And so, first of all, let's talk about offers. What is an offer? An offer is essentially your ability to solve someone's problem. Your ability to make money in this world comes down to how you can solve people's problems. I can solve a lot of people's problems. That's why I get paid a lot of money. I had a client 2 weeks ago pay me over $200,000 cash in a single transaction, and she's cool, so she paid in Bitcoin. Now, the reason why she was able to do that, and she's super excited to do that, and she's super smart to do that, is because she has a problem, pain, and I have a solution to her problem and pain. Your ability to solve people's problems will determine how much money you make. Now, once we understand what niche we're going after, so for example, the top niches are health, love, and money. Okay? Now, these are the 3 big niches. Underneath each one, say, for example, underneath money, you have business and wealth creation. And then you can just go deeper and deeper into this. Okay. So for example, underneath business, we have online business. And then underneath business, we have, offer creation. And then for people that want to create offers, we have something called funnels. Okay. If you notice, about 80% of my marketing is focused on people that want to focus on funnels. Does that make sense? So the big problem that most people have when it's coming to offers is they try to appeal to anyone and everyone. Whereas what you want to do is focus on one person. Okay, now when I say this, sometimes people are like, Shaq, well, I'm young. Listen, I'm just telling you this. 80 to 90% of my clients are 40 plus. I like working with people that are 40 plus. Why? Because my starting packages are 20 to 30 grand. Okay, sure, sometimes we have like a 12.5K or a 6K package, but most of my packages are 30K, 40K, 50K. A normal 20-year-old or 30-year-old doesn't really have that sort of money, or they don't have the mental maturity to become resourceful to find that money. Does that make sense? So what I want to do is I want to appeal to that one person. Okay, so when you come up, let's just say mine is on money, and underneath money, it's on funnels. This is very deep. Okay, meaning I am going after a specific type of person with a problem and a pain. I'm giving them a solution, and I'm niching down my offer. I'm niching down. Okay, you've heard of the niche, the riches and the niches. If you're trying to appeal to everyone, you're going to appeal to no one. If you say stuff like, I help people become rich, okay, who's the people? What are people? Like, do you help people in India, or do you help people in New York that are already making 250 grand a year? You see the difference? Okay. It's like I was on Clubhouse the other day. This is one of the reasons why I don't like always doing, I do that just because I want to see where the market is moving, but I really try to stay away from free advice, because free advice is the most expensive advice you're going to get from anyone. It's the most expensive advice. Trust me. Okay. Sometimes I see people spending 6, 8 hours a day on Clubhouse, on Facebook. I'm like, what are you doing? So someone gets on and they're like, Shaq, I've got a business and I got clients from America and I got clients from India and Africa. And my clients, basically, he was complaining about his clients, saying they can't afford. And I said, no, it's not that they can't afford your product. It's your targeting is wrong. You're talking to the wrong type of person. When I'm talking to an affluent person, a serious business-minded person, and I show them, hey, you can make $20,000 a month, you can make 100 grand a month, and I show them a clear path to getting to, 100 grand a month or $1 million a year. And then I say to them, okay, pay me 50 grand and I'll coach you. As long as you do the work, no one in the world can guarantee you anything except for yourself, right? You all understand that, right? We will show you the path, but you have to do the work. And when you get stuck, you have to put your ego aside and say, hey, I need help. I need help. That's a good student. So I get on the call on Clubhouse and someone asked me this question. They're so frustrated. And I'm like, you're talking to the wrong people with the wrong message. If you have the wrong message, you create the wrong mess. That's a writer downer. Because if you aren't clear on your message, then you're going to create confusion in your customer's mind. And a confused mind never buys. So we want to make sure whatever we're selling, whatever we're marketing, it is going to be tip top. It is going to have the maximum effect on our people, on our target market. We're not here to do business to look good. We want to be able to take a prospect that has a pain and problem and give them a solution here. And when we give them a solution here, guess what happens? We get paid. We get paid. So that's your offer. Okay. Now I'm going to share with you when I come up with offers, how I structure it. I'll give you a framework to use, because without the offer, people, you don't have it. You don't have the magic bullet. Okay. Now in our advanced programs, we go into this in detail. Me and my team, we basically work with you. We have lots of different frameworks, worksheets that you go through that comes up with an offer. But let me just give you one right now. And it's something that I actually paid this guy 15 grand. The 15 grand. His name is John Lee. And he doesn't really do personal mentoring, but he's a good friend of mine right now. And I see him, this framework that he uses. I want you guys all to write this down. Okay. And I've kind of refined this because I feel like, I use it more to give people tactical help. So I want to just show you guys. Okay. And it's called the educate formula. You guys ready for this? And what is the educate formula? Excuse me. Okay. The educate formula works like this. Okay. First stage is attention. So, for example, if I was Regina and I was calling up someone's attention, right? Because I want to get attention, right? You want to get attention in the marketplace. So if I was Regina and she's selling a wealth creation product, right? Then I would say attention retirees that want to have a secure golden nest egg, right? Notice what I'm doing. I'm talking specific to a specific target market. Then I say D stands for difficulty. What's the big problem that they're facing? Because when you share someone's problem and fears and frustrations, boom, you're able to build trust at a high level versus everyone else. So you got to be able to tell people, hey, you got a problem, XYZ. When I talk to a student, whether they're making no money or 10K, or I have students that are making 100 grand a month. I got one student in my VIP program who's making $1.2 million a month, and he still has a lot of problems scaling up. So I will call them out. When you call them out, it positions you as an authority, as a teacher, as someone of credibility. So you will say, difficulty, are you struggling and sick and tired of chasing low yielding investment returns that give you 3 to 5 or 10% a year? So that's the difficulty. You got to understand what they're going through. So in this case, you would say, hey, I understand what you're going through right now because I too, once upon a time, went through this. So the reason why I can share with you about funnels so good for all of you listening right now is because once upon a time, I used to struggle with this, right? I used to think to myself, is there something wrong with me? Why people don't like me? Maybe I've got a weird name, And when I first started putting my name out there, my name is Shakir Hussein. And at the time, there was a ton of these wars, between America and these other countries that was happening. And I remember one time, someone said to me, wow, your name is Shakir Hussein, kind of like Saddam Hussein. And, I would get online and I'd put ads and people would call me a terrorist and all of this stuff. And I used to think to myself, wow, like, is no one ever going to buy from me because of my name? And then I tried so many different gurus. I go into a lot of there. I bought all the guys that look the fanciest, that look so perfect, all the girls that had the best branding and website design. I basically bought it all. I got sucked into it all until I realized, hey, until I learn about one, first offers, two, funnels, and then three, understanding the prospect's pain and problems, I won't be able to have an effective marketing machine. Does that make sense? So what happens after you understand and you show people that you understand, you tell your credibility story. Okay, listen, I understand what you're going through because you may be struggling with imposter syndrome, trying to scale your income. You're stuck at, 10, 20, 30, 50K a month, whatever it is that you're stuck at. And I can help you get unstuck because I am a best-selling author of this book. I won 3 of the ClickFunnels awards behind me. You can see each of those big awards represent $10 million each. And I was able to do that before I turned 30. So you see how I just talked about authority, right? You see where I'm going with this? I talked about authority here. So that increases my credibility. And then what we want to talk about is what happens after credibility is what are the action steps that we can give? Okay, the action steps that we can give to someone. So, for example, after I talk about my credibility, I can talk about 3 action steps. The number one reason why you're not making the kind of money that you want is because you have an offer issue, pricing, positioning, packaging. Number two is you don't have an automated lead generation system, which is the funnels. Okay. The funnels is the lead generation where people come in. And then number three, you don't have a system to scale. You don't know the processes, the sales team, the commission structure, how to hire people. And when you do, you have what's called the OFS methodology. OFS. See that? SOOFS. OFS methodology. Okay. So now I've come up with the OFS methodology. And then what happens? So what happens is now I've given 3 steps of action. Now, what happens when I give action steps? Let me tell you what happens when you get an action step. You now think, whoever this person is, I need to learn from them. So now you give them an action steps, and then you have some testimonials. So I've got over, 100 plus testimonials. But if I was starting off, I'd go and get myself a handful of testimonials and reach, help you get those. Because after you get those testimonials, you can now engage in call to action. Okay. What that means is you're going to tell them, here's the next step. Okay. So this is the framework that over encompasses everything else. Does that make sense, everyone? Okay. So we want to identify, we got to focus on the right things. Instead of doing 10 things, we want to do one thing at a time. Okay. And in this case, what we'll do is we want to focus on your offer, creating a map to your offer. Second thing is we want to make sure that we understand to optimize the offer, okay, optimize the funnels, optimize scale, okay. Once you have the offer, once you have the funnels, the scale comes with traffic, right? And then there's 2 types of traffic. Okay, there's basically what we refer to as organic and paid. Okay, now my favorite is paid. Why? Because this is infinitely scalable. Okay, this is where you create real freedom. Anyone that doesn't teach you real paid traffic, they essentially don't know how to build a business. Because you don't necessarily build a business by just doing organic marketing. Sure, you can start off like this, but the amount of people that I see, okay, the amount of fake gurus that I see, I call them fake gurus because they've never built a business in their life. They just know how to do organic, spend all of their lives wasting on social media. Okay. I don't know about you, but I have a life outside of my business. And I try to have a life outside of my business. How many of you know what I'm talking about? I gotta work. I have a big family. I come from a family of 6 brothers and sisters. I love them. I mean, they just came over here, a couple of them, and spent a few hours with us here. I want to spend more time with them. I have, God bless my parents. I got a mom and dad. I love hanging out with them. I want to spend time with them. I got a wife that I love taking out traveling. She loves traveling around the world, and I want to work on my health. I want to work on my religion, my spirituality. I want to work on fun projects outside of just this. So I don't know about you, but I don't want to be stuck behind a computer for the rest of my life. Okay, most of these guys and girls that teach you how to do organic marketing, post on social media all day, post on Instagram and LinkedIn and get your branding right, all of this nonsense. Trust me, they're glued with the computer. If they're not on the computer, they're on the phone. And it's like this is not the way to build a real business. 10 years ago, people used to make fun of my name and such, right? Now, I've generated over 1 million email subscribers. Do you really think I care about doing organic traffic? This probably is like 10% of my entire marketing campaign, and I do a lot of organic stuff for fun. Most of my traffic, my money comes from paid traffic. Okay. Now, the reason why I can make paid traffic work is because we use funnels. And quite simply put, you want to write this down. Funnels is essentially the process to turn a stranger into a paying client. Okay. So many of my clients, just ask yourself right now, some of you here on this call, you've already invested, maybe 10, 20, 30, 50, $100,000 with my products and services. I can assure you, I probably haven't even met you. I mean, I haven't even met like 90% of my customers, like ever. Maybe the 10% I've met is because of the live events that we've hosted. But most people, I'm never going to meet them. Okay. And that's okay. Because in today's day and age, the world is moving fast, right? We can do this all online. So what did I do? I turned a stranger into a high paying client. That's the magic. If there's a holy grail, you need to write this down. Holy grail. Okay, what's the holy grail? The promised land. What's the promised land? This is the promised land. Okay, you guys ready for this? The promised land is turning cold strangers into paying customers. Okay, I promise you right now, if you can get this wrapped around your head, and it's not that hard, my friends. Okay, if you can, I promise you, if you can do this, then forever you'll know how to make money. Okay, when I first understood this, it was like the biggest wow. Like I just got it. I just realized, whoa, doesn't matter if I'm in Hong Kong, Singapore, America, Australia, if I'm on the internet, if I'm on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Clubhouse, I don't care because I know how to turn. Okay, this is the magic. I know the holy grail. I know how to turn cold audience strangers into high paying clients. The game is over. Okay, and that's the skill that I want to impart on you. Now, it doesn't happen overnight. Okay, it doesn't just happen, but we've made it a process where we can give you the tools and templates, the resources, the frameworks to help you. Okay, so now what happens is once you understand this, okay, understanding is just not enough. We want to help you build the funnel, the right funnel that does the holy grail. When you do this, you're able to spend $1 into your funnels, and then you're able to get 3, 5, or even $10 back. Does that make sense? So here's how I'm going to show you funnel number 1 works. Okay, funnel number 1, and we call this our OSS call funnel. Now the OSS stands for Optimum Selling System Funnel. Okay, so stage 1 is we'll have what's called a lead capture. Over here, people have to come in, give us the name and email address. Number 2 is what happens is they come in and they watch a VSL, okay? A VSL, or what we call an OSS video. Okay, now there's around 6 different types of these videos. Okay, now I can't show you and give you every single one of them right now. I'll break down just one of them, but I want you to know there's 6 or 7 different types. Okay, and when you enroll as a VIP client with us, we actually just give you the word for word scripts, the breakdowns, the teardowns, videos that the OSS that has worked for me, literally campaigns that have made me $1 million profit and beyond. You'll actually get access to this. And what happens after this is they watch their VSL and then they book a call. Okay. And after they book a call, they come on your calendar and you pick up the phone to enroll into a high ticket. Enroll high ticket. Okay. High ticket. And this is where you charge 3K to 15K and beyond plus. Okay. So this is literally my favorite funnel. It's 3 steps. And obviously there's a few more things that goes into it, which I don't need to discuss right now because it's a little bit more advanced. But essentially, this is the framework. People come in, step 1, Okay. They put the name and email address so that we can build our list so that we can have a long-term business. All right. Like if you have an email list right now, that's your number one asset. If you have a Facebook group, if you have an Instagram following, if you have Clubhouse followers, they are not your customers. They are not yours. You have to understand this because you don't own the platform. The way you turn them into your own asset is by taking them from one platform, putting them into another platform, which is your list. Okay. Then what happens is we get them to book a call. Now, why do we get them to book a call? You might be thinking, man, I don't want to be speaking to people. But let me ask you this. If someone is ready and able and excited to pay you $3,000, $10,000, $20,000 for your products and services, how many of you would pick up the phone? Right? In my business, because I have a lot of sales guys and personal business advisors and certified consultants and all of that, I don't necessarily have to pick up the phone. But if someone comes in and they're a potential for my $50,000 or my $120,000 product, then I'll pick up the phone and I'll have a conversation with them. I mean, I'll pick up the phone all day long if I have got $50,000 potential clients, right? And so you have to, if that's in your head where you're like, oh my gosh, I hate selling, no, you don't really understand what selling is. At the highest levels of selling is serving. If you can help someone and someone needs your solution, why wouldn't you sell it to them? And again, if you have any issues and mental blocks or self-sabotaging blocks, or you hate getting on the phone, one, we can teach you how to overcome that and give you the word for word scripts. Or two, we can show you how to outsource that so that it's not, you can literally hire someone that can do all of your sales for you. And then the third is where you enroll them. Okay, where you enroll them, you have that conversation with them, you find out their pains and their problems, and then you enroll them into a high ticket price point. Does that make sense? Okay. And you might be thinking, well, where do I actually go and get the customers from? That's a good point. Once you have the funnel sorted, okay, the traffic is actually one of the most easiest things. And in our business, what we have, because I actually own video ads agency and I own fbads.agency.com. Okay, so my Facebook ads agency, we can literally, we don't do this for everyone, but because this is not a public business, but for some specific clients, we will handle your traffic. Okay, how many of you think you could make an extra $10,000, $50,000 a month, or even beyond if me and my team handled your traffic? Like, just think, give me an order or just raise your hand if you're like, I need someone to run all the traffic for me. If just let me know who would be interested in that. Just give me a hands up. Well, here's the thing. Okay. Once we help you identify your funnel, then what happens is, once we help you identify a funnel, then we help you set up the traffic. And whether it's Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever. That's the when you go and and get traffic. Okay. And we start off with one. Remember what I said, don't try to do 10 things, do one thing at a time. And then once you have the traffic coming in, lead captures coming in, okay, people are being added to your email list, VSL's working for you 24/7. Because if you've ever hired an employee doesn't work 24/7 because they're in the flesh, the humans. But who works 24/7? Machines. And that's what we want. We want to get our head out of thinking of humans and replacing it with machine. For example, when I go to sleep, I have Facebook ads running. I have Google ads running. I have YouTube ads. I have YouTube videos. I have Instagram running. I want to do the work once and I want to have massive leverage coming on. Does that make sense? Second thing, name and email. They come in and they go over here to the VSL. Okay. Then they come over here and 3K to 5K, that's where they come in for the offer. Now, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we know our numbers. So, for example, if you now use Facebook traffic and you spend $1,000. From $1,000, you get $1,000 worth of traffic into here, right? From 1,000 people, you get 1,000 clicks. From 1,000 clicks, let's just say you convert at 30% opt-in. So now you've got yourself 300 leads. Okay, that's where the magic is, the leads. Then from 300 leads, we go over here via sell, and what do we get? Okay, so remember, this is here. This is the next part, which is how many people watch the video and then book a call. So let's just say from 300 people, 300 leads, okay, excuse me, 300 leads, we are going to get 20% of people booking an application call. Okay, what that looks like is 10% is 30. Let's just say 60 applications. Okay, so 10% of 300 is 10% is 30, 20% is 60. And let's just be very, very even conservative and just say, what the heck? We're going to get half of 20 is 30. Let's say we're going to get 30 applications. Okay, just only a tiny 10% conversion. From 30 applications, let's just say we close only 3 people. And on average, those 3 people paid us, I don't know, let's just say $5,000 each. That means you've just made $15,000. But how much have you spent? You spend about $1,000. And how much have you made? Around $15,000. That's how you turn $1,000 into potentially 15K. Now, let's just say you're really new and you don't have much experience, but you're able to turn and you can't even close 3 people. You close 1 out of 30 applications. That's still $5,000 from an investment of only $1,000. If you could put into Facebook $1,000 a day, and you could make just one tiny little sale, and you made an extra $5,000 a day. Okay, $5,000 a day times that by 30 equals 150K, 150K monthly. 150K monthly. Okay, what does that work out to be? Works out to be over 1.6 million a year. 1.6 mil. $1.6 million yearly. You see how I'm going with this? Right. And let's just say you were doing it very conservatively. You spend $1,000 a week. And you made one sale. All week you just made one tiny sale at $5,000. What does that say? I'll tell you what it says. It says 20 grand a month. It's 250 grand a year. When you make 250 grand a year, you're in the top 1% of the world's top income earners. In America, UK, wherever country, doesn't matter. You're in the top 1% of all the world's highest earning professionals. When you start thinking like this, wow, everything starts coming together. Okay, so that's my funnel number 1. My funnel number 2. Okay, funnel number 2. Let's go. Funnel number 2 is basically my auto webinar / live webinar. And how this one works is very simple to the previous one. We have lead capture that gets people's name and email. Okay. Name and email. Then they come in and then they watch a welcome video for the webinar. And what they can do is they can book a call. Okay. They watch the welcome video. Once they come in, the webinar starts soon or whenever they registered for it. On the webinar, we offer, let's just say, a $10,000 price fund program. Okay. By the way, anytime you write this down, anytime you sell something for $3,000, $2,000 and beyond, it's referred to as a high ticket program. And it's very hard for an average no name nobody to sell a high ticket just on a webinar. So what's the missing link? It's the phone call. So you have to embrace the phone. There's no other way around it. Either you learn how to pick up the phone and sell, or you outsource it to someone else. But don't say, oh yeah, I don't want any phone calls. I don't know anyone that makes big money, okay, unless you have like a million influencer Instagram, followers or whatever. No one I know makes real money if they don't have a phone sales team. Okay, I know some people, they make 50 to 100 grand a month, but you know what? It's taken them 10 years. I don't know about you. I don't have 10 years. Most of my students that come to me, they don't have 10 years. They want to get results quick. They want to get results fast. Okay, so what's next? They go into the webinar. It's a 10K offer. The webinar is usually long, 2 to 4 hours. Okay. If it's under $3,000, the general rule, okay, 2 to 4 hours if it's a 10K. If it's a 2K product, then we do maybe 2 hours and we sell it for 2K or under. Okay. Now, what happens is once they come in to book a call, they're automatically taken into an application form. And then they enroll on the phone. Okay. And don't worry if you're really new to this, because this is the kind of stuff that I want to help you implement and execute. Okay. Now, obviously, we have to get traffic. Traffic. That's where Facebook, YouTube, Google, LinkedIn, Instagram, you can just add Clubhouse, all of this stuff comes in. That's where the traffic comes in. Okay. Now let's do this. Lead capture. What happens? Again, we work out the money metrics. Okay. You got to know your money metrics. The more you can spend to acquire each client and you can outspend your competition, the more money you're going to make. So money metrics. Let's say you spend $1,000 on Facebook ads. From $1,000, you get, 300 opt-ins. From 300 opt-ins, okay, we get 30 people to book a phone call there and then. 30 people book a phone call. So now you have 30 people that can be a potential to enroll in your phone. Let's just say you're so new and you close at only 10%. Your goal should be to close at 20 to 30 to 40%. But let's say be very, very conservative, okay? Because I don't want to kind of hype things up. I just want to very, very conservative. 10%. What happens when you have 10%? That's 3 sales at 5K. That's 15K you just made already. Okay. Now let's go through and let's remember the webinar is actually here. But this 15K is pure bonus cash. Okay. You haven't even done the real work, which is the webinar. On the webinar, from let's just say 300 opt-ins, let's just say you get 50% show up rate. So 150 people watch this webinar. From 150 people, 15 people apply to work with you. You close another, one point. Obviously, you're going to most likely close more than 10% because these people have just watched a long webinar with you. So let's just say 20% of people. Okay, so that's an extra 3 sales. At 5K, that's $15,000 cash. Okay, you see 15K plus 15K here, that's $30,000 cash that you can make from spending how much? 1K. Let's just say you spent 5K and you made 30K. Okay, how many of you would be happy with that? Most of you. Where else can you even 6x your money? Forget that. Let's just say you were only able to, spend 5K and you made back, I don't know, 4 times, which is 20K. You do that in a week. You do that in a day. Imagine how life suddenly starts to change. So this is my funnel number 2, my auto webinar. Okay. My auto webinar funnel number 2. Lead capture goes into a welcome video, exactly the same funnels that we use, goes into a webinar. Okay. And I've spent, just so you know, I spent over $50,000 just in webinar mentorship. Okay. Because why? I'll tell you why. Once upon a time, many, 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 many years ago, my dad's friend. Okay. By the way, how many of you guys are enjoying this? Just so I know I can get some feedback. Raise your hand if this is making sense to you guys. Okay. If you just joined us, turn your video on and just give me a hand raise or something so I can see you guys. Okay, cool. Thanks, Regina. All right. Hey, Sabrina. Okay. If it's making sense, Trisha, Harold, Ray, Sissy, just let me know. So once upon a time, about 10 years ago, when I was a young little kid, my dad sent me to his best friend's state agent, and underneath the basement was empty. There's a nice basement, so I could go and work there, free office space. And I remember there, I did my first ever webinar. Okay, now how many of you would like to do webinars to your list, whether it's live or automated? Okay, let me put it another way. How many of you guys would like to present 1 to 2, 3 hours a week, live or automated, and make an extra 10, 20, $100,000 for a couple of hours a week? Yeah, now everyone's hand should go up. So here's what happens. I'm young, I'm nervous. I've never done a webinar before in my life. I've got like 10 or 12 people showing up, and I'm just sweaty and I'm nervous. And I get on this webinar and I just talk for hours, right? And I'm sweating and I'm like, this is the most craziest thing ever. At the end, I was so nervous. I was like, I'm never doing another webinar ever again. Okay, so a few months goes by, a little while goes by, and I start building my authority. I start building my list. I start building a high ticket offer. And I do a webinar and I promote someone else's offer. Okay, the first day I made $50,000. I was in Sydney, Australia. I never forget this. The second day we made around $60,000. And I realized the more I email my list, the more money I'm going to make. So every single day I emailed my list for about 2 weeks. That campaign ended up doing around $320,000. That single webinar changed my life forever. A little while ago, I did a webinar. I did the webinar and I sold a product for $10,000. Now, let me tell you, I thought to myself, man, if I make 5 or 10 sales, I make 50 to 100 grand and I'm happy. Like, that's a lot of money for a webinar. But it didn't work out like that, because you know what happened? I tell you what happened. I put together an offer so powerful that even I couldn't comprehend. I presented the offer and I had 120 people pay in full. You know what that is? 120 people pay in full at $10,000 each is $1.2 million. My ad cost was zero because I mailed my email list. You see the power of that? That $1.2 million. Guess what I did? I automated the whole thing. That sucker is still alive on the internet. This was a funnel that I built many years ago. This is why I love digital assets, because you build it once, You put the sucker out, and that machine works for you 24/7, 24/7. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't yawn. It doesn't ask for a pay rise. It doesn't complain. It doesn't miss things. It just bloody works, right? And that's how you want to start thinking. You want to stop working in the flesh with your time, energy, money, your resources, and you want to start thinking to yourself, how do I get digital assets to work for me? Funnels, VSLs, videos. How do I get these things, the machines, to make money for me? That's how I think. Now, I just love webinars. So I went and hired the best people in the webinar industry. And when my clients join, depending on what program they buy, we literally give them fill in the blanks, webinar templates. I give them my webinars to study. I give them an entire Rolodex. I help them with the ideal webinars that they can use. And before we know it, they're off to the races. They're off to the races, and boom, game over. Okay. Imagine if you have the power to do webinars like we do, automated webinars. Like this one is a live hybrid version of a webinar, but because I've done it once, depending on the feedback, again, I'm going to be sending it out. And I try to do different variations. I have webinars that are 3-4 hours long that are full slides. I have videos that it's just me talking face to camera. And then I have ones that I've got on my fancy little iPad, and I'll basically talk on my iPad and I'll present, and I'll just talk for a few hours or an hour or 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll present an offer. Does that make sense? So this is my core funnel number 2, okay? When I look back at the last 10 years and people say to me, Shaq, I'm trying to make $1 million, right? $1 million is going to change my life. How did you make $1 million, $10 million? Oh my gosh, $20 million. This is getting out of hand. How did you get $30 million before the age of 30, won the most prestigious awards in the marketing world? How did you do that? How did you get featured on Forbes for making $1 million a month at the age of 28? What, like how? It's because of funnels. It's not because I'm smart. Maybe I am a little bit smart. It's not because I have like genius talent. It's because of funnels, because of the machines and systems that I use. So was that powerful or what? Give me a high five, thumbs up if that was powerful. All right. Again, like I said, I wanted to do something really spectacular and special for you guys here. It's around 20 elite level people here that I wanted to do something really special. Funnel number 3. Okay, funnel number 3, which we're gonna talk about right now. Okay, this is what we call a front end SLO. SLO stands for self-liquidating offer. So how this one works is usually it's a program which is $49 all the way up to maybe $297. Okay. The whole perspective of this, the whole reason is we want to get free buyer leads. Okay, we want to get free buyer leads. So the price point is essentially something like this. And how this works is, let's just say it's a SLO, okay, SLO. And we can come up with a simple little template, tool, some sort of resource, a swipe file. We can come up with something such as a challenge. Okay, I love doing these 5-day challenges. Okay, 5-day challenges. And how this works, okay, again, 5-day challenge. They come in, they enjoy valuable feedback and lessons for 5 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then what happens is day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, we give them so much value. And at the end, we present them with multiple offers. Okay. And what tends to happen is this. Okay. What tends to happen is this. Someone comes in, again, the traffic, right? The traffic, they'll come in from Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Clubhouse, Google, word of mouth, whatever. And they'll come in and then they'll join this challenge. Okay. Now, what happens when they join this challenge? I now have their full details, their home address, so I can send them postcard, catalogs, brochures, gifts, presents, sales letters. I have their home address. I have their email. I have their phone number. I have their email, so I can email them for as long as I want, as many times as I want. I have their phone number, so I can, guess what? I can email them. I can text them. I can WhatsApp them. Okay. What else do I have? Their social media details, right? So I can add them on Facebook, so I can connect with them on my Facebook group, right? How many of you have connected with someone on the phone, either for myself or my team? How many of you have gone through and joined one of our Facebook groups? We've encouraged you to subscribe to our podcast, to join our YouTube channel, to join me on Clubhouse, to join us on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, all of these things, right? So now we're bringing them in, then we're educating them. Okay, remember what I said as well, we're education-based marketing. We're educating them, we're adding massive value. Okay, this is where, we are going to really help them. Now, what happens is, once they come in for $49, sometimes they can spend, anywhere from $49 all the way up to $997 just on their first go meeting us. Okay. And our goal is to break even on here. Okay. Break even or be profitable. So then what will happen is we have so many people that we can. So I'll give you an example. I'll give you one of the examples that we one time spent around 5,000 USD. Okay. Just from this, I made around 20,000 in sales, which gave me a profit of around 15K. Okay. And I had around 200 customers experience all of this. Okay. Now, when you guys should understand something, 200 customers experiencing this, at the end, I sold them various different offers that range from 10K plus, okay, to 50K plus. Okay, those are my price points, 10K to 50K. Guess how much I did from this campaign alone? I generated more than $450,000 in pure profits just from this campaign. Now, do you see why I love this funnel? I love a SLO, a self-liquidating offer. You guys see that? Because I'm going through and I'm educating them. Day one, funnels. Why is it important? Day two, the mistakes people make. Day three, how to do it. Day four, why to do it. Day five, and a breakdown of my funnel. And then I'm saying, hey, listen, if you like what you see, come in and consider buying one of my programs. Okay. Now, what happens is sometimes they might not come in and they might not buy. And that's okay, because after the 5 days, here's what happens. I send them more emails. I send them lots of emails. Okay. I will send them email after email, encouraging them. Hey, you know what? I've given you an option. Come in and come in from these emails, okay, emails, and come back to the offer. Come and check out the offer. Now, what happens is some of the people that have gone through all 5 days, they might even miss some of these days. So what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to say, hey, you know what I'm going to do, guys? Okay. And by the way, can you see this working right now? Because I'm doing it right now in front of you guys. Okay, can you see this? Is this powerful or what? I'm literally showing you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Then what will happen is this. I'm going to say, you know what, guys, it's time. It's time for me to do another webinar. Another webinar. And guys, listen, if you haven't picked up my offers, come back to purchase my offers. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send another series of emails. Okay. I'm going to send another series of emails that takes people back to the offers. And I'm going to tell them, hey, listen. And by the way, you're in the sequence now, so you're going to experience it. You have maybe anywhere from 3 to 7 days to purchase the special offers. Otherwise, what will happen is our price doubles, will take away a lot of the bonuses that we've introduced. And now you're like, oh my gosh, like this is great. I need this, right? And some people, they will take a little bit more time. But this, how many of you think that this is powerful? Yes or no? Right? How many of you are like, this is the kind of stuff that I need to do? Okay, guys, these are the 3 funnels that I've used in my business over and over again to generate literally millions of dollars in profits, not sales, in profits. Okay, in profits. So these are the 3 core funnels. Remember why I shared. Funnel 1 is this. Okay, this is the funnel number 1. All right. The OSS, the optimum selling system, the phone funnel. Funnel number 2, a webinar funnel. Okay, a live webinar or a recorded webinar. Funnel number 3, what did I talk about? The challenge funnel. Okay. How many of you guys think that was insanely valuable? How many? Let me see your hands. Shake them up. Raise your hand. Turn your video on. I want to see how many of you guys have found this valuable. Now watch this, okay? Because when I see my students succeed, those that follow through, they really get the results. And one of the things that I see is when they're doing funnels, they make this big mistake. And I'm just going to give it to you guys right now, which is this. I'm going to show you guys. Give me a second. Okay. I'm going to walk you through the 7-step funnels methodology. Okay. So F stands for your niche. Find your niche. This is where you got to get clear on who is it that you are trying to talk to. U stands for understanding your prospects' pains. When you understand your prospects' pains, that's the only way you are able to really help them. Okay. Nailing your messaging. Nailing your messaging. If you can nail your message, you can nail the market. You can nail your message to attract your dream client. Okay. How do you nail your message? You got to make sure you niche down on perfect client. Okay. Who's that perfect client that you are going to talk to? Okay. E, engage them. How do you engage them? Through social media, through emails, through building your list, through traffic. Okay. This is where you start building your brand and your presence. Okay. Funnels. L. What does L stand for? Leveraging tech. Okay. This is where, you put the pages together, the funnel pages and all of this. And S, this is where you structure your offers and pricing and frameworks. You guys get that? Funnels. It spells out funnels. Funnels. So, how many of you, just by a show of hands, feel like, Shaq, this is insanely valuable. I need help with all of this, just by a show of hands. How many of you guys are looking at this and be like, oh my gosh, like this is the kind of stuff. How many of you see the power in this? Like, do you see now that, oh my gosh, like if I actually have a funnel like this, then obviously I'd be able to make money, whether it's an extra 10 grand a month or 100 grand a month or whatever. How many of you now just have a lot more clarity? And my goal is to always give everyone clarity, regardless of if you continue to do business with us or not. Okay, now I don't want to also leave you aside in terms of, oh man, I'm going to give you all this information and a no way to take the next level. Which is why what I'm doing right now is I am going to take on a handful of clients to personally help them with funnel number 1, okay, funnel number 2, and funnel number 3. Okay. So we have a program that usually specializes in just one. Okay. This is our VIP Funnels Accelerator program. And then we have the VIP Elite program. And then we have the VIP Mastermind offer. Okay. Which basically encapsulates all 3 of these funnels. And what I'm doing is I am going to let a handful of you guys in, where me and my team, I have a team where we literally mentor you 5 times, 6 times a week, live, no recording courses. And if you're sick and tired of just going through courses, this is stuff where you're going to get real live training once a day, every single weekday, okay, 5, 6 times a week, live. All right, like today I did one live and I was showing behind the campaigns of turning a few $1,000s into hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're going to be able to get that with my team. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to open up a handful of spots. Just this past week, we opened up 10 spots and everyone has to go through an application process. And the simple reason is this, guys. Okay. Right now, there's way too much demand for my products and services. And we don't want to just work with anyone and everyone. We have very elite white gloves type of service. And this is why I want to invite you guys to apply, book a call with me and my team to see how we can help you. Okay. So I'm going to give you a link. If you're watching the recordings of this, go down below, go to wealthacademy.com/done for you. And you can go and book a call with someone from my team and they'll be able to analyze your situation. And based on your goals, we can recommend some of our programs to you. And if we feel like it's not going to be a right fit for you, that's okay. We'll point you in the right direction. But if you want to take the next step with us, this is your shot right now. Okay. Because let's be real frank. You and me, listen up. What is your alternative? Do you want to spend the next 6 to 12, 18 months, next 2 years looking around whilst everyone else is crushing you and you're getting left behind? Like, I'm guessing you don't want to be that guy or girl, right? You're like, enough. I need to get control of this. How do you get control of this? The only way you get control of this by deciding to take action. Okay. So if you're ready to take the next leap of faith, right, in yourself, because I believe in you, but the question is, do you believe in yourself? And if you're ready to upgrade yourself, upgrade your thinking, upgrade the levels of actions that you take for yourself, for your family, for your society and community, for your own legacy, right now is the time. Don't delay on this, right? I've been teaching this stuff now for more than 5+ years. Some people that have followed me have gone on to become millionaires and multimillionaires. And other people, they've been sitting on the fence, watching everyone else get rich, watching everyone else become successful, and they've just been on the fence. I don't know what they've been doing. And if that's you, whether you just joined my world a few days ago or now through my Facebook ads or YouTube, however you found this, or you've been following me for a while, I invite you to take the next step. Book a call with someone from my team. If you are in a position where you need some help with financing, me and my team We can offer USA financing, Australian financing. Those are the two financing companies that we work with. So we can help you get financing so that you can have an edge when it comes to raising the money that's required for your business, starting and scaling your business, even during uncertain economic times. We're living in some amazing times right now. And if you aren't capitalizing on every single day, then you are surely missing out. And let me tell you this. Today I was reading a story from Jeff Bezos. I mean, one of the world's first, actually, he's the world's richest man right now. And, he has this thing called a regret minimization framework, which is, at the end of your life, you don't want to look back and say, oh, no, I didn't do this because I felt XYZ, or I was afraid to fail, or my friends and family are going to think, oh, I tried this before and I didn't work out, right? You don't want to be that guy or that girl, the lady or the woman that when you're at that age, 70, 80 years old, and you're looking back on your life, you could have made that one decision. 10 years ago, I was literally on a call, okay, on one of these calls, and I was listening to these Americans, just like you. You're probably thinking to yourself, you're listening to this British guy here out in London. I was listening to this American guy called Michael. And I remember Michael, Jay, and Aaron. And these guys used to belong to a company called Carbon Copy Pro. At the time, this was the biggest, hottest thing in internet marketing. It was like 10, 11, 12 years ago. And gosh, a long time ago. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I mean, I was listening to them and I was thinking to myself, I got to go find the money to invest in myself. At the time, it was like 20,000 and then $45,000. It was like the most amount of money I could even comprehend. But because of that one decision I made 10 years ago, I look at my life right now and I say, praise to God. And I say, damn, it was good that I make those decisions. So many people, they try something once, they get burnt out, they give up, or they have a bitter taste, and they never forgive themselves of the shame and guilt. Don't be that person. Okay, click on the link below right now, book a phone call with me and my team. Okay, I'm going to drop the link here right now so that you guys have it. It's on wealthacademy.com. Okay, wealthacademy.com/ done for you. Okay, done for you. Click on this link right now. Okay, if you're watching a recording of this, click on the link, book a phone call, book a time with my team. Okay, book a time with my team. And then what's going to happen is this. Okay, what's going to happen is this. Someone from my team is going to call you up in the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, bearing in mind, we do get a lot of booked calls every single day. So please be patient. If the calendar is not working, it just means everyone's calendar is filled up. Okay. And sometimes that happens where everyone's just filled up. And I don't have hundreds of these guys, not yet anyway. Okay. I only have a few guys and a girl called Sarah. And so I want to make sure that if you're going to take action, you want to take the next step forward with us. You want help with funnels. You want help with offers. You want help with traffic. Okay. That's really what it comes down to. It's your offer. You need to create a new offer. It's the funnels, the process that your clients come through. And it's a traffic system. Okay. How do you get consistent lead generation coming in? Once you have traffic, once you have offers, once you have sales and systems all working together, okay? The traffic, the funnels, and the offers, okay? Everything else falls into place like clockwork. So here's what I'm going to say to you right now. If you listen to me right now, if you're going through some of my videos and you're ready to take the next step, go and book a call today. Speak to someone from our team. They're non-pressure, they're cool, they're trained, they're experts, they're real professionals. They're going to take the time out to listen to you, to see where you're at, to see where you want to get to, and what's the missing link. Because the missing link, if you try to do this yourself, is going to take you years of your life. Trust me, I meet too many people, smart, intelligent people. They can't put the pieces of the puzzle together. And if you're in that stage, I want to help you. So click on the link below right now. And I look forward to helping you for my team and I. All the best. God bless. And we will be speaking to you very soon.